In this video, we're talking with a group of families who have taken part in the activities and support offered by Forget Me Not Children's Hospice. Today, they're all coming together to take part in a Rainbow Baby playgroup, which involves lots of toys, bubbles, and plenty of laughter. First, we asked them to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about their family setup.
Okay, so my name's Louise, and this is Michelle, my wife, and this is our son Rowan.
So I'm Emma, and we're supported by the hospice because we had a stillborn son, Toby, in August 2023.
So I'm Beth. I began my Forget Me Nots journey in May 2023 when my little boy Joshua passed away very suddenly. I gave birth at 18 plus 6 weeks. So I promised at home, so basically my waters went, but I gave birth to them intact and ended up in hospital.
I'm Carly, this is Ada, and yeah, she's got an older brother, Billy, who's 5'2", and her dad, Gary.
I'm Rebecca. We got referred to the hospice because we had a baby that was in neonatal care last year, and she passed away at 16 days.
Next, we explored their initial journey and their first steps with the hospice, exploring how those first moments were.
I think for us, we didn't even know that Forget Me Not existed. And what it's provided for us is something that the hospital that we were being seen by really couldn't. So what happened was our daughter was diagnosed with trisomy 18 last May, and we were trying to navigate through understanding her condition, what it meant for her, and everything that went with it. We were being seen by the hospital, and they'd offered us the support of a bereavement midwife. But when we actually came to access that service, it turned out that you couldn't see the bereavement midwife until after you'd lost a child. And at that stage, we weren't sure that was what was going to happen for us. And it took a lot of ringing round with the hospital, talking to all sorts of people, until eventually we really broke down on one of the telephone calls. And we were put in touch with someone that happened to have links with Forget Me Not, and that's how we were put in touch with Sarah, perinatal midwife that has been just an absolute godsend to us. Yeah, we can't thank her enough for what she's done.
Yeah, my bereavement midwife from the hospital referred us, and within a week we'd had 2 people from the hospice come out and meet us, Sarah and somebody else. And I don't know what we'd have done without them for the last nearly 2 years. My 5-year-old son can come here and talk about his brother Toby with people who understand. And when he comes and says, "My brother's dead," people don't feel uncomfortable. They know what to say to him. And he's surrounded by, other people who have been through something similar. And then when we got pregnant with Matilda, we started the Rainbow Baby group, and we've just met the most amazing people in the group. People that understand the really silly things that got me really upset when I was pregnant. We painted Toby's bedroom, and Toby never got to use that bedroom, and it felt like we were doing something wrong. We were painting over his memory, and everybody else had that same experience, and they had tips. When their dad said they took photos of the bedroom before they painted it, so that they still had that visual of the bedroom. So just things like that made me feel like I was being silly or irrational for being upset. Having that group of people around us who were going through the same thing was really, really helpful.
And they basically gave me no choice but to give birth to Joshua, and I was very fortunate that Joshua was born alive, so my whole rights changed. At Bradford Royal Infirmary, you do have some rights as a lost mum, so they do have a bereavement team there, and you're looked after for the first 8 weeks after after your loss, and they referred me to Forget Me Nots, and I started coming here probably in the July, and I think my referral wasn't made for quite a while. And then I made the decision to make a referral, and my recommendation would be for mums that have had a loss to get referred quicker. I had quite a lot of medical trauma after I had Joshua and was back in the hospital. I hemorrhaged, and I think if I'd had the support from Sarah, I would have known my rights a bit more and been able to stand up for myself.
So Ada was born a couple of months premature, and she had some genetic testing done. And when those results came through and we found out that Ada had a diagnosis that made it medically complex, the lady and the consultant on the ward and the neonatal ward recommended that she put us forward to Forget Me Not. For support as a family, support for Billy, and yeah, just overall support as sort of like navigating a new world of being a medically complex family.
Next, we talked with the families about their ongoing support with the hospice and how that has evolved over time.
The other thing that really made that a precious memory was the music that we had by the music therapist Alice, who put Iris's heartbeat to music that we chose, and she also composed a little extra piece. And so we were listening to that, and it really helped us feel connected to Iris. And I think that was what we were really needing around that time, was to feel any kind of connection that we could to her while she was still with us. And again, that was not something we would have ever thought of doing, but because it's here and it's offered, we went with it, and it was an enormous comfort. And we've listened to the music since, and when we buried Iris, we played the same piece of music, and it gave us sort of that continued comfort that was just really important.
I think, Michelle said it earlier, the idea that with the best will in the world, hospitals, however much they care, they can only do so much, but we knew that we were supported here because there was the time, the resources, the facilities to look after us. And even just that knowledge that there was somebody we could go to made a difference, because you don't want to bother the hospital, you don't have someone to call. But specifically, we had a visit from Sarah and Faye very soon after we'd had the funeral and we'd gone back home. And again, being in your own home environment, having that home visit, a chance to talk things through with people who weren't strangers and you didn't have to explain everything to. They'd already been with you every step of the way. They knew what you'd been through and could really support you. So right from then, we were being helped. But the organised activities, if you like, the Rainbow Bump and the Rainbow Baby Group, that's just been incredible. Because you can join antenatal classes, you can go to baby groups, but they're all mixed. And there's always that really awkward moment when somebody asks you, really common question, oh, is it your first? And there's always that decision of, okay, how much do I bring the vibe of this group down by admitting that I've lost a daughter, because she was our first. And when we were pregnant with Rowan, we never wanted to deny that we had Iris. So those groups, they're great, but they're just not the same. You come here with a group of people who've been through exactly the same thing. You can be completely honest and you can share what you're going through, because all of the emotions that come with having another child, you feel like almost you're being disloyal to your daughter, you're betraying the memory of her. It's like, are you trying to replace it? There's so much that goes with having another child that group could help us with.
One of my anxieties around having a Rainbow baby was going to groups and people saying, so is she first, or how many children do you have, and then having to make that decision for myself whether I say, no, she's not my first, and then other people feel awkward. It's not me, I'm not bothered, but other people do feel awkward when you talk about your Rainbow baby, and then making that decision of whether I say, actually, yeah, she's my first, and then feeling that immense guilt. So being able to come here with other mums, it just takes that pressure away. It's easy.
I mean, for us, it's a safe place. I'm gonna cry. I think when you get when you get a diagnosis that's like life-changing for your child, and also life-changing for you, it's very isolating, and no family can, even immediate family, don't really understand quite the extent of it. It's new to everybody, and and friends certainly just can't really relate. So to us, it's just been a massive safe place for us. Like, we can come, we can walk through the door. Any medical equipment that you've got, anything with your child is just acceptance. You know, you walk through that door and you just feel totally safe. Yeah, he's been really good for us as a family. It's been super welcoming.
And then when I fell pregnant with Willow, Sarah came with me to a lot of my appointments because I had quite a tricky pregnancy. I ended up with a cervical stitch very suddenly. But Sarah came with me to my appointments for my cervical lengthening scans, and I was lucky that in the appointments we went to, everything was fine. But if things hadn't been fine, I would have had her there, you know. And you can take family, but having that experienced member of staff who's your friend, like feel like you're your friend, come with you and be able to say, oh, that's great, or this is what this means, or, you know, just to talk through things afterwards.
Amongst all of the many other things that are going on in our life, like this was a place where we'd come and we were just Iris's mummies for a while, and that was, you know, that was
really special.
Here.
Yeah.
This is our happy place. It's our safe place where we can just come and know that everybody understands and everybody knows our story. We don't have to explain anything. We can just be here and be happy.
So I think people think you just come and you just do counselling, but it isn't. It's so much more. It's a community. It is a massive community, and I think being able to come and just, I don't know, be part of that is really special.
And it allows us to meet other families and other parents that are, you don't have to have the same conditions that you're dealing with. I've never met anybody with the same condition as Ada in this environment, but you're all living a medical life, and you can all connect and you can all share.
People don't know how to react when you talk to them, and here it's just so open to be able to talk to that, and I don't know what I'd have done without the support here, or what us as a family would have done, because, well, I always just refer to them as like actual angels, which you don't actually know, but you do now.